this morning. I've changed a little bit of scenery behind me here, huh? Where we at, PawPaw? Well, that's the open range right there, and there's a tractor there, and they're under their cover. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning. Uh, Yesterday was a pretty hot day. A little bit of a breeze. As long as you stay in the trees, you was okay. Hang on. All right. Didn't want to be sniffling in front of you. Well, what's a sniffle down in, right? Good morning, Janice and Diane. We'll give me some better glasses so I can read them names. Heather, Bob, good morning. Just me and Melissa and Sue, good morning. And there's Carla K, Nancy. They get to going so fast. Carol Cardacey, good morning. And she comes on with that howdy. Howdy, Carol. Yeah, like us old Southern folks. Howdy. Good morning. Good morning, Melissa. I'm watching. Good morning, Alice, Elizabeth, Cindy, Heidi. Good morning. Molly, good morning, Molly. I know you've been here since day one. See, I ain't gonna forget it now, Molly. I won't forget it. Well, I might. You know how it is. Dawn, good morning. Brenda, Bonetta. Now listen, Trina, I think it's Trina. Jackie, Carrie, and Judy, and Peggy, and Patty, Deborah, Michelle, good morning. Now, Ricardo told me he missed us the other morning. He got, listen, no, it wasn't that he couldn't go to the bathroom. Good morning, Ronnie, Steve. He was watching somebody else. Yeah, but he was honest about it. I'm sorry, I got hung up on so-and-so, and I missed it. I'm going to catch you tomorrow. And I said, okay, Ricardo, all's forgiven. Did check on me there today, make sure I didn't get too hot and stuff. And sweet Jimmy over there in Louisiana. Good morning, Jimmy. If you're watching, had to check on me a couple times, make sure I didn't overdo it. I had help. If you watched my video this morning, you saw the help I had. Yeah. Cheeto Neil's here. Everybody start calling him Cheeto Neil. Kind of like, almost sounds like that basketball player, don't it? But instead, it's Cheeto Neil. Anyway, good morning, Jackie and Peggy. Praying for Dot. Dot's had some issues. Yeah, and I don't say how Dot keeps going much stuff she does. I'm serious about that. She just constantly into everything. She's doing her job every day. 7 days a week, and then run her farm and just constantly building stuff. Dot's a lot like Kim. Truly, she just sees a project, she tackles it. So that's kind of about what we got into yesterday. Kim comes down yesterday morning. I had my day planned a little bit smoother because I was tired from the week. I planned on just putting my wire, getting my electrical stuff out of the building completely. Be nothing else in there. I knew Dan wanted to start tearing it down as soon as he could. Dot is an inspiration. Thank you, Peggy, for pointing that out. Thank you, Michelle, for telling me to hit the like button. Thank you. Dot is an inspiration to a lot of folks, and Kim's an inspiration to a lot of people. I think she nothing's too big for her to tackle. She just, hey, I'll watch a couple of YouTubes and do it. Yeah. I've done that. I've had to do some mechanical stuff on something I wasn't really for sure about. Let me finish my story about yesterday. Uh, Now I get off track. Sometimes I get off track, and I lose arguments with my wife because I get off track sometimes. Uh, she'll be kind of ahead, and I'm catching up on this argument, and all of a sudden I got off track, and then she just right on up, right onto the finish line. Uh, yeah, Michelle, you're a little bit late, but you're okay. You're here. I was a little bit late. I think I was about a minute late. Uh, anyway, I had my day planned, just doing electrical stuff, kind of more of a, easy job. And Kim shows up and with her tools and her truck, and she's backed up over there where Dan tore that, the frame part of the old B room down. And I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm going to try to salvage some of these 2x4s. Dad, she said, they're good 2x4s. And I said, well, they are good 2x4s. I just ain't got the time to, do all that. And I don't have nowhere to put anything right now. And I stored a bunch of lumber down there that I had been saving on that trailer. And I got a tarp over it, but I said, I was about to run out of room there. But I said, you go ahead, if I can help you, let me know. Well, yeah, Dad. You gonna hold that board up? Hold this up? Can you cut that for me? Can you pull that out right there? You got your screw gun here? Okay. My electrical stuff went on hold. I said, listen, before you leave, you gotta help me put that wire through that conduit. Okay, no problem. To the camper. And anyway, that's another story. So I helped her, and then we come around the back where Dan had dropped the back shed framework down, or took the metal off, and I removed those 4 posts, those 4x4 posts, and I stored them because they full length, nothing wrong with them. Dan just pulled the roof off of them, and they just 4 of them standing there, and I went and put them away. And I come back, and she's cutting on it, and good 2x4s. And she's taking them apart, and the laths, the 1x4 laths at the 10 actually nailed to. It's all put together screws, so it makes it a lot easier to take apart. And that reminds me of a story. Yeah, that reminds me of a story when I worked at the school. Yeah, I tell you. The school was always wanting to come and get us on our campus, the other campuses too. They'd call for me to bring my class and do these projects for experience for us, and they was getting it done free. Maintenance was too busy, or put them on hold, or be too late, for what they wanted. So we'd go from campus to campus, and they provided a little school bus for me to drive the boys and carry our tools and stuff. And we would go campus to campus and do projects. So they called and they said, we want this stage platform built in this room. Could y'all do it for us? And they sent me the kind of a drawing of what they wanted. And I said, yeah, but I would put it together with, the floor of 3/4 inch plywood. Because see, here's the thing. They'd build that stage, and I know them. They'd build that stage for this drama teacher wanted to do a play, and he needed a place to practice, and he wanted a stage in his classroom, and he wanted a booth built over here with projector stuff in it. Well, I thought we should build it out of 3/4 inch plywood. Yeah, that's what I'm telling them. And, oh, okay, yeah, whatever you think, Mr. Morrow, whatever you think. Because they're going to buy it. They're buying it. And I said, yeah, that's what we'd use. And I said, for the framework, we use 2x6s. Oh, yeah, that's great. You order it, and we'll pay for it. I got you. So I went and I ordered the stuff. I drawed it out myself, everything I needed to do, everything I needed, down to the board. Oh, maybe an extra board or 2, but you got to have, allow for shrinkage. Good morning, Anna Maria Piazza. Good morning. Yeah, I think they're gonna come back. I think y'all's president, our president, I'm just messing with you guys that didn't vote for him. I think they're gonna be pushing trades again. I think, they stopped for many years. But when I first started teaching, the junior high had about 4 different trade classes. The high school had about 6 or 8. I mean, there's a ton of them. And when I left there from teaching 20 years later, there was only 2 at the middle school left, and 2, I think, at the high school left, maybe 3. But anyway, yeah, they just because I think the way they worked. Now I get back to my story. Uh, on those kind of programs, the federal government would chip in so much, but then the local had to chip in so much also, So it wasn't just a free ride, you had to kind of chip it in. And different superintendents didn't want to spend that kind of money. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've always said this, and I had arguments at times. Every kid is not going to college, regardless of a reason. Finances or just, whatever, Every kid is not college bound. You may want to think that. That's your business. So why not teach those that may not want to go to college, may want to just get on out and go into construction or into the job world, Give them a trade, We need tradesmen. So that's my argument, okay? Anyway, but I knew that drama class was only going to last so many months, Before the end of the year, I knew in my mind, and they didn't tell me this, but I knew it. They'd be saying, well, could y'all come and remove all that stuff? Well, yeah. We'd take it back to my shop, and my boys would have stuff to work with for a long time. And it worked out exactly that way. We put it together with screws, and they did. I think about that early May. They called. We need to get that cleaned out before school's out. Okay, we'll put a priority on it. We'll be right over. Away we go with our screw guns. Take it apart, pack that stuff back to what they call the black hole, my shop. If it went to that black hole, it didn't come out. You never found it again. Anyway, Kim took this stuff apart. She's like me. She's not a hoarder, but Kim does hoard too, but not as much as I do. My dad, I didn't consider him a hoarder. I got it from my dad. My dad didn't throw good stuff away, stuff that he might have used again. And I'm not saying this to be. I'm going to tell you how it was with folks that didn't have a lot of money. When my dad added on to our old house, and I didn't know this, I was just a kid down there. I was just a kid. But I found out later in life when I helped remodel a part that he had added on one time. And I don't think in that whole wall there was a whole stud, a whole 8-foot stud. I think there was like 6 foot with one scabbed on, and 4 foot or 2 4-footers with a scab on them to hold them together. Yeah, he used what he had, And the siding, you put the siding on, you couldn't tell it anyway. But yeah, it was amazing stuff he could do with a little. And so I grew up like that. So I don't throw stuff away that I know can be used again. It don't matter if I had the money or not. One lady says, you got the money. Well, I don't have the money, lady. I'm sorry, I don't have it. I wished I did, just to go out and buy what I want to buy. If I did, I wouldn't be doing all this. I'd hire somebody to come do it for me. Hey, tear this thing down and rebuild me another one and finish it for me. It ain't gonna be that way, It ain't gonna be like that. So, I'm not a rich man. Anyway, so here we go. They come, Kim does, I hipping her, a good-hearted daddy. Good morning, Steve. Stephanie. Somebody said somebody learned a lot. You ain't gonna learn a lot from me. You probably gonna learn a lot from me. And somebody else says she's broke too. Well, we ain't broke, but we ain't got a lot of money. Uh, we have to watch what we spend because there is a, you know, there's days coming you may not have nothing. But anyway, I helped her, and then here comes Bree. So she wants to chime in. And I asked Bree to come help me do something, and she did, and she was very good about it. And then she comes over, and she's just sitting there, but when she gets through doing her little chore, she wants to sit there and belittle her PawPaw. And she got Kim now. It's like this, like two snakes. And I'm kind of dodging them, and they striking at me. So I said, Bree, but I got her back. I said, honey, I've got that old stuff I took down, that old electrical stuff, in my little wheelbarrow. Would you roll it over to my shop for me? And Kim said, it's probably got a flat on it, Bree. It's gonna go. You ever tell me that old flat tire turns? I said, it ain't got a flat, just a little bit of stuff. Yeah, I'll do it for you. And she said, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just gonna go do it. I said, okay. Well, she did complain. So she gets in there and it's heaped up. It's heaped. It's heavy. It's heaped. And I can hear her in there complaining, griping. I said I'm not gonna complain, but this is ridiculous. But she did. She rolled it over for me. I'm real proud of her and Kim. They both. And I'm sure, well, I know Kim will be back this morning because she didn't get all that lumber off the back. Plus, when Dan got home, he was able to come over and get that floor up off the big room. And now it may expose that metal, so we could take that metal down today also, and maybe over the weekend if we have to. Can't do it all in one day. The back wall, I don't have Ben this week. He's left. He's went to Uvalde. Won't be back till, I think he said he's gonna stay up there a whole week. So if once we get the metal down, that's all I'm gonna be able to do until they get this thing tore down. And Dan's gonna tear it down with one little old, I think a little excavator type thing, and load it in that dumpster. So it'll be more, maybe pick up a piece that flies out of the way or something like that, a piece of wood down there and throw it away. But my job basically will be just get out of the way, everybody get out of the way. But so she'll come this morning, and he pulled that plywood up for her, and I'll help her take it all apart so she can carry it home. It's good plywood. It's never been wet. I bought it all new. The 2x4s underneath it were brand new. And they still look brand new yesterday when he pulled it up, On an add-on like that, I already didn't have a lot of headroom. So I kind of dug down just a little bit when I built it. So actually the floor was even actually with the ground. A little bit above, not much. But I'd laid down plastic in the bottom and laid the 2x4s, the framework built it on top of that plastic. And it was just as dry, no moisture in there at all. So they're really good lumber, and they're put together with screws. So I'll help her take all that apart today. All right, I'm gonna try to catch up what all you guys are saying. I'm just talking and telling you what we did. So, good morning, Perry. Deborah Barnes. The building behind me, Deborah, is the camper, the open range from Camp Easy in Livingston, Texas. Oh yeah, one lady says, oh, I noticed your license plate on that camper is expired. Yeah, we have a reputation for letting stuff expire. Yeah, but I got new ones. They're in there on my desk if I want to hit the highway with it. Don't plan on taking it down the highway, but if I do, I got license plates for it. Good morning from Idaho. Good morning, Brenda. Up there in Idaho. There's Steve. Good morning, buddy. Yeah, he knows what. Hey, yeah, Steve. Ronnie, those tomatoes old Ronnie had from that co-op, If you look closely, you can see that barcode on the bottom of it. It came right out of a store. Right out of a store. Thank you there. Thank you, Madeline. There goes old Dan. Bye, bud. Dan not going to have to work long today. They're running kind of late, but today's an easy day for him. He's going to go in and check his office, make sure everything's up to snuff, and he's going to be taking off to the lake, him and Lou, after a while for the weekend. I don't think they'll be back until Monday. Lou said, well, we may come back Sundays. Dan said, well, yeah, we will if the fish are not biting. We'll be back Sunday. And she said, we'll probably be back Sunday. Oh, Dan is fishing. Good morning, Linda C. Jackie, good morning. Good morning there. Yeah, I am today getting me some more glasses. I'm gonna order me some today. Strong glasses. So I can see these names. My blackberry bushes, Dot, are doing good. And Ronnie sent some little shrubs. He called them something. They got names, or he may have made these names up. And I planted them, and they all wilted down, but they're out there close right next to them. But they have perked back up. I watered them. I keep them watered, and they've all, his little bushes perked back up. Yours never wilted. Yours, they really do. The little cuttings off the little plum trees, though, I don't have much hope for them. I've done everything it said does. Don't think they're gonna root. Don't think they are. The little plum trees. I don't think they're gonna root. I've got everything exactly as they said. I even put the rooting mix on them. Can't get them to sprout a root. Jimmy sent me 2 little fig trees. They're potted, and they're doing well. My tomatoes are doing well, and Buster, don't hurt nobody. She comes along yesterday. She's, wise are. You guys know how wise are. These cucumbers, they kind of look pale. Yeah, baby, they are pale. I'm pale. Well, what's wrong? I said, well, the soil you and I went down and shopped for is just sorry. And I said, I've mixed stuff with it, but it's too late. Not enough too late. I said, as long as they either done what they're gonna do or they don't do no more, I'll dig them up. And I'm gonna bring barnyard fertilizer and fill that thing up with barnyard stuff. I said, no, it'll work. I've seen too many gardens grow out of that same spot, and I'll go dig it up. Boy, Ben and I packed that tractor over here and fill that thing up. And then next year, God's willing, when I plant, they'll just shoot the top of that fence overnight. And old Will and Ronnie will sit there scratching their heads and say, look at old PawPaw go. I haven't even seen Will yet. It's probably sunshiny over there in Georgia. Good weather days is why I puts him out of the house. Bad weather days, she locks him in the room. Locked in the room, he does nothing but get on the phone. And it's just harassment all day long. Vicky, good morning. I'm pale. I get pale. I got pale the other day, oh Lord. And a lot of doctors have told me what was wrong with me. I consider myself a doctor too, sometimes. It may have been my blood sugar. Well, it may have been, but I don't think it was. It could have been. I got a headache. I got little dizzy spots, but I think I was just so hot and I dehydrated. I wasn't drinking enough. So once I went in and got rid of the headache and chucked up a bunch of water, I felt better. I went to bed early. Next morning, I felt good again. Yeah, Buster and Woody patrolling. Buster for sure. Woody may have stopped and took a nap somewhere. I'll tell you about Woody. Woody worries me. I'm serious. Woody is so bad about, we go somewhere. I'm not talking about somewhere else. Back in the pasture, wherever, and I stop, get off and do something, get back on. Buster hops up there in the seat. He's ready. He's ready. He don't leave my side. If I don't look, make sure Woody's down there by my feet, I may drive off and leave him. And it happened. It happened. I drove down. I drove down to the bee trap back there, and I'm videoing it. And Buster sitting there beside the seat, beside me, looking at the bees, and not knowing what he should do. And I was only there for like a minute on my video, and I put it in reverse, and I back up, and I pull away from there. Not knowing Woody had got off. Yeah, I should have looked, and I now have to look. And I start driving back out of the pasture, and I have to look down, and he's not there. Oh, Lord. So I turned around and went back. He's down there, peeing on a leaf here, and walking around peeing. I don't even think he knew I'd left. Oh, hey, PawPaw. He hops on me, and we leave. And you just got to watch that little guy. And how's the snake crop doing? Well, I haven't had no snakes except for those bread I found underneath that tin that day. I think everybody else is dealing with snakes right now. I'm not saying there's not going to be some here. And in fact, we talked about it yesterday, and I think everybody's had a snake or two around. And so far, besides those, we haven't had no issues, even at my hen house. Normally, if you got chickens, you're going to have a chicken snake at some point, and I may still get one at some point. So far, thank goodness. Maybe the guinea's keeping them run away. I don't know. I couldn't see what you said went across last night. Yeah, good morning, Black Diamond. Yeah, Lester had, I was surprised about that too. And some big old snakes that he's had to take care of up there. Big snakes. And normally those are chicken snakes. They get so big. I've seen them 6, 7, 8 foot long before, and they get huge. You think it's an anaconda, but it's no chicken snake. Now, they get big. My dad always said they traveled in pairs. And he said the big one, I may get this backwards, was the male or female, and the smaller one would be the other sex, whichever. But they always went in pairs. And it seemed like anytime I ever had to find one to take care of it, within a few days I'd find that other one, and it'd be bigger or it'd be smaller. Well, that makes sense too, but still, figuring it was a pair, because it'd be about the same place. And I only seen snakes mate one time. Saw it. I saw it. I'm not going to embarrass you. Not going to embarrass you. They kind of twist together. They twist. Don't, Ronnie, you and Will just chill out and don't make remarks, because I know what y'all are going to say. But they twist up like wire, twist up. And I thought, what in the world was that? Because it's behind a log. And when I got up closer, well, I took care of both of them. But still, I saw it. I was traumatized. Traumatized, not drama, trauma. Yeah, in words, you know how words are with me. Y'all know how it is. They do, they twist up, and that's how they mate, or at least that's how these two were. Usually I say something like that, educational, you got people like Ronnie or Cheeto Neal is going to make something out of it. He laid up there with them Cheetos right now, probably a Cheeto bag each hand, thinking what I can say. What can I say? What can I say? And Will the same way. So I have to turn, when I want to talk to people besides you folks, and sensible people, I have to turn to either Sweet Jimmy or Sweet Steve and Susan or Ricardo, They'll talk sensible. Now listen, talking about, I get accused of having a pansy garden. Well, I know my cucumbers are lacking. And it's nobody's fault but my own. I don't blame nobody. I don't blame Home Depot for selling something that's sorry. I bought it. I could have bought the better stuff. I should have went to the barnyard and dug what I know works, and I will next time. But it is what it is. So I made a mistake, but it's not a pansy. It is kind of a pansy in a way, but not all the way. But now, Steve, over here in Tennessee, will be sending pictures eventually of his garden. And Ronnie don't think anybody besides him can grow a tomato plant. He got that one tomato plant from the co-op, and he just walks around, carried it around in that pot, showing everybody, look what I got. Look at my tomatoes. That's sad, sad. Anyway, today, somebody just now fixing to start planting. I know you guys up north, y'all's planting is way behind ours, but ours is burned out, way before yours will. July will come here and it'll hit with a vengeance. It'll hit with 100-degree days, and tomatoes don't do well in that kind of heat. They'll even stop blooming. They stop setting fruit. They just they keep them alive, water them, keep them alive. You're doing a good job. And then maybe when it starts to cool down, they may, put some more flowers on and have some more fruit. But the cucumbers by that time will be completely gone. Now, when mine leave this year, when they all die out, when they're gone, when there's no more, I'm gonna dig it all out of there, and I'm gonna go to the barnyard, and I'm gonna dig up barnyard fertilizer, come back and fill them feeders, those two little beds up with that. And I'm gonna mix some perlite so it don't pack down, and I'm gonna replant for a late crop. How well it'll do coming up in the heat, I don't know. We're gonna find out. Only learn by trying, right? That's how we learn stuff, which we try. And eventually we get it perfect. That's the way I think. You try it enough, you'll get perfect at it. That's always been my philosophy. May not be yours. Tried it one time, didn't work, I ain't doing it again. Well, you gotta go back. All right, tell you about my plans today. Oh yeah, I want to tell you about, first off, before I leave this, about Kim. I told you she's gonna help me run the morning, Ricardo. Run the that 10-2, it's a real heavy wire over to the camper through that conduit. Conduit was already buried. Well, we couldn't get it to go through there. We pushed and we twist and we turn, and there's a way to do it, but I didn't have all the stuff to do that. I've seen them run a real heavy wire through and tie other stuff to the end and pull it on through. We didn't have none of that. And Cuz was telling me last night, yeah, they even make a little thing almost like a little parachute they put in the end with a string tied to it, and they put pressure to it, and it'd blow all the way through, carry the string with it, then they tie the string to your wire and pull it through. Well, we didn't have that either, just me and Kim. So Kim said, Dad, the conduit's in sections. I said, yeah, it's in about 10-foot sections or 8-foot sections, whatever. She said, well, let's pull it up and put us through a section at a time and rebury it. Well, that's easy enough, Kim, we can do that. And we pulled it up, we did it just like she said, and it worked perfect. But then it had to be reburied. Back here I go, digging the ditch out. But I got it done. Dan come by right before I finished and helped finish it up, covering it up. And that was only because he's going to drive over it. He had to drive over his tractor, so. But anyway, it worked out good. But today, my plan today, besides helping Kim, now we'll help her when she comes, is to disconnect the old wire going to the camper and connect the new one, move that box off the house, over on the house, because the house got to come down, over on a post I set over there. and connect the wire over there, and I can plug the camper in right there. It'll be all underground, up to code. Someone says, is this stuff up to code? This is up to code. This is up to code. And someone else said, they don't have code in Texas. Well, depends on where you live in Texas. But yeah, this is up to code. Good morning. There's old Will. Sweet Billy. Yesterday, I'll tell you what I saw. I sat on the porch drinking coffee about 9 o'clock. I hadn't got really going good. I'd done a lot of chores already, fed the goats and everything, and let the chickens all out and all that. And I saw this cloud of bees coming up right out here. That's well, there's a swarm. They're going up. They're swarming. And you could hear them from my porch, just, you know. And they go up almost like you see, picture these tornadoes, just, you know, like that, real slow, up in the very top of one of these oak trees. In a little bit, they were all up there. Well, I say all of them. That's about half the box. That's how when they swarm, that's what happens. About half the hive leaves. And they do that for they're crowded. The old queen's laying so many eggs. They're hatching out like crazy, and there's just no more room. And that's the way they do. That's the way they spread. There's a word for that, spreading, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. That's the way they spread. They build up, they swarm, you know, and so they spread. Half of them go to another place and find a home. And then they may do it. This hive could do it again this year if the new queen lays enough, and I don't add boxes, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. But I'm swamped. And plus, there's a feeder on there full of honey that Steph wanted, and she's gonna come get it. And when she gets it, I'll put another box on it, and I'm gonna move them. Bree showed me where to move them. I got her permission. In fact, that's where she said she wanted them. It's in her corral. So, oh, you can't put them in there. There's gonna be a horse in there, or maybe a goat in there. It ain't gonna matter. She said put them in that corner up there next to the driveway, because she's gonna build a little fence around so I can put a cow panel there, keep anything away from them. No, I want to build. She said I've been wanting to build this little fence. It's something I want to do. I've always been wanting to do it. He said that's the perfect place for me to do it. And that's where suit yourself. And that's where I'll put that little metal frame that I showed y'all. Set it in that corner. Come around with my tractor, pick this box up and take it around there and set it on that frame. Then when I box up those in the back, I'll bring them up and set them right next to it. So it'll be two hives. And that's about all I need to take care of is two hives. It's good to have two, and I mentioned this before. Sometimes a hive will start to have problems, have a little bit of a problem, and you can always add bees out of another box to it if you know what you're doing, which naturally I know. But I know how to do it, okay? I'm just picking. Good morning, Tracy. Dana Kay. Terry, good morning from New Hampshire. Anna Marie Watkins, good morning. You think Hawaii's calling? I've been there. You better have a sack full of money if you go to Hawaii. Everything there is expensive. Good morning, Peggy. Terry. Will says I'm tarnishing his reputation. Now, I don't think he got a decent reputation to start with. So any tarnish might even be an improvement what he's got. You know, Laramie, Bree's husband, his grandpa, he was a state trooper here in Texas. I worked with him. Worked out of the same office. And awesome guy. He's passed away now. But he was basically, you might call a legend. And not maybe in a good way to people on the highway. His name was Earl. And Earl stops you. you probably gonna get a ticket because he ain't gonna stop you for nothing. It's gonna be something serious when he stops you. When he stops you, he's probably gonna get a ticket. And everybody talked about how hard he was. Oh, Earl's hard. He's hard. He's hard. I went into jail one morning on a Christmas morning, I think it was. I had to go by and get some papers and stuff, and been dropped off there for me. And old Earl brought in two old boys the night before out partying for Christmas. You know, they wasn't driving, they just partying. They got a little bit out of hand. And he come in and went back there and opened the cell and said, all right, Merry Christmas, get out of here. So he had a heart. He had a heart. I always liked him. But he was tough. Will's probably about like that. They probably glad to see him. The people around there probably glad to see him retire and get off the highway. Am I going to build an elevated building for my animals? No, I have a plan. The chickens don't need it. Guineas don't need it because they all go up on the roost. They fine. The goats, I can walk them to my trailer with a bucket of feed. They'll hop right up in there and I can take off with them. The cows will go back down to where they always go. And if I have time, I could take them down to the greenhouse there at the front of the greenhouse. The logo says put them in there. You know, it don't get no water there. If I have time to get them down there. Ivan will go with the goats. Him and Gidget will load up with the goats. And that's the way we got to do it. I don't think I can build an elevated building to put all them animals in. It'd be nice. Or it'd be nice if I could afford just to build a big old barn back here somewhere, like huge, you know, where they just get up on top of it. But the only flood that's ever hurt us, animal-wise, was Harvey. And pray we don't ever have another one of them. And that's supposed to have been a 1,000-year event or something like that. Well, maybe another 1,000 years, okay, but not now. But no, don't have no plan for no elevated building. The elevated house is about all the elevation I can do right now. Yeah, thank you, Anna. We're tearing this one down and going to build another one. It's not going to be big as that house over there. We don't need it, just G and I. We raised a family in that one. Well, we're still raising families, I think, but it's just us. How close am I building? Dan is going to be out of town next week. So I think within 2 weeks we'll have this one down. Because he'll come back, he said he can take this down, he thinks, within a week, get it down and out of here. And I don't know how much cleanup we'll have to do, you know, dragging it and making it level. I mean, part of it's a slab, it's fine, it'll be ready. And then just going down and getting with the folks and getting them to start. They said they can do their part with if the weather's good within a week or so. So it'll be fast, I think, once this is down out of the way. And it's gonna probably be working on it all summer. You know, I don't see it getting anything quicker than that. I'll do the wiring. I can do that. Told you, I said, you got that walker. I've sent that walker. I can set that thing on the floor, in that floor in there, and I can just roll from plug to plug to plug as I go down the walls, putting in plugs. Yeah, my friend Larry gonna come over and assist me. He helped me wire this house over here back in '90 when we built it. I'm sure Cuz will come by off and on with his advice and maybe do a little work for me or something if I need it. I don't think we're gonna need that much because we're gonna work at everyone's convenience. Steve, don't let them rile you up but they don't know nothing about gardening. Ronnie and Will, they don't know nothing about gardening. You've seen why Ronnie's wife has a flower garden, and it's beautiful. Ronnie has one tomato plant, so don't let him talk about a garden, and he bought it. So, anyway, yeah, it's going to be an all summer. Because how long you think it'll be before y'all can get into it? Well, I'm thinking I'm going to have the insulation, that foam insulation put in it. I've talked to a guy about it. He does them all the time, and read up on it pretty good. I think that's the way I'm going to go on that. Uh, it'll make it airtight almost immediately. The first thing I probably will put in it would be an air conditioner so we can work with air. Uh, as soon as I get the wiring up, install at least that much wire. Just if I don't do anything but wire it one big unit in the end here, uh, we can cool, so we all work in a cool space. And it'll just be at people's convenience to come by. If they got a day they can put in on it, or 2 days or whatever, or in the evenings maybe come in. Buddy said he can do all the plumbing. Uh, and I told him if they get the stuff or tell them what they need, I go buy it, or they get it, I give them the money back. And each one has a specialty. Buddy will do the plumbing. Kim will help him on that. Kim will also help do the finish work. Dan can come in and help do the interior walls and stuff. He's really good at that kind of stuff, him and Lou. Dustin will be as tall as he is. He said, I can put that ceiling in. So everybody's looking at things that they can do. And it's going to work out great. Anybody wants to come in and do something, their specialty, they're going to be welcome to do it. The only thing about it, and I'm going to try to work a deal with this guy, the little house has a front porch, full length front porch. But the back door just comes out on the steps. I want to try to get, if nothing else, get them to add a landing, a little deck. I'd like for the roof to come on out and have a little back porch too. Don't have to be full. Don't have to be no full length. Don't need that. But maybe like a 6x12 or something like that. Just go ahead and come out and drink coffee in the mornings. I mean, drinking coffee on the front porch too. That's just no problem. But sometimes you maybe want to go out and look at the woods. It's all woods right there. Nothing but woods, squirrels and stuff. Bees, garden, pansy garden. No, yeah, it's try to work a deal and get like some kind of little porch on the back. And I'd like to have it, with a roof on if I can. Let the roof come on out over it like the front porch. There's a lot to be done, a lot to do. I think they're going to be pretty easy to work with, these people. What I've seen and read about them and I've talked to them on the phone. I think it's going to work pretty good. We'll have to have our own little, Kim's drawn up a little blueprint, and G's still looking at it. I don't know, what about this, what about that? Because we'll have to let them know where we want the windows, where we want the front door, where we want the back door. We'll have to give them that kind of information before they actually start building the walls, They'll deliver the stuff, he said, everything will come the same day. He thinks if the weather's good, his crew will have the foundation, the floor completely done by the end of the day. It must be a pretty good sized crew, or they really know what they're doing. And it goes from there, It's kind of a timeline he sets with his crews. Good morning, Jeff. And anyway, that's kind of the timeline we got going. And this Cuz said, well, when you go get your stuff over in the barn organized? I said, cuz it may be up to winter. I may be spending my winter days out there. It'll be out of the rain. It might be cold, but I'll be out of the rain out there sorting stuff out, because we're bringing stuff out of here. Now, the bee room equipment and stuff is pretty close together because it all come out first. But it's behind everything else. It's behind everything else. Everything else come out, it just was just put in the totes and take out there and stacked. Kim asked me for something yesterday. I said, I got some, baby. I said, I'll have to just go find it. I got to go find it for you. And I'll try to have it for her today. It's something she needed. And I said, I've got it. You just have to find it. So anyway, that's our plans. And then this weekend is Memorial Day. I don't think there'll be, if Kim and I do anything, it'll be taking more of this metal down tomorrow. Dan said we need to get it down before he starts demolishing. But actually, you know, if he's not going to work on it next week, it's tear it down, and we've got all week to just take a few sheets a day if we want to. You know, and if Kim is busy, if I can just get her to come and get up on the ladder and get the top row. I can't reach the top row, and my arms don't work good above my head. If she gets that top row of screws out, I can do the rest. I can take the rest of it down and put it on a sawhorse, you know. Then I'll get Bree come by with the forks, take it to the back, stack it. And someone said, who's going to use that old stuff? Well, it's old, but it's not bad stuff. Metal lasts a long time. And there'll always be someone, like Kim's fixing to build a hen house. And she wants some for a hen house. It'll save her some money. That stuff's $30 a sheet or so, you know? Yeah. So, and it's not something you might want to go and put on your house. Now you could, but you might not want to, but you can build sheds out of it. You can build a barn out of stuff. It's still got many, many years of life left in it. Anyway, that's the way it is. That's the way it is here on the farm. That's the way it is with poor people. No, not really. We're not poor. I'm just picking. Okay, PawPaw, I will be careful. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Ronnie needs a lot. Poor Ronnie guy. I feel sorry for Ronnie guys. Listen, and I'm serious about this. Ronnie has some fencing he need to do. He need to fix some fence. Ronnie may not ever tell you, but Ronnie has rib issues. Yeah, he broke ribs, and if I'd have been his doctor, would have fixed them right. But he went to a witch doctor, and they didn't get fixed. And now when he strains, pulls or lifts, those ribs almost like they're like a hinge. It was like move, and it's very painful. It affects the way he breathes. Now, I'm telling this, Ronnie, you get mad if you want to, bud, but let's pray for Ronnie on this stuff, because every time he tries to do something strenuous, that's a big word, strenuous, he hurts for days. I said, go back to the doctor, Ronnie. He said, well, you don't go to the doctor for stuff. You know, you don't go. I hear Dan all the time, you won't go. Well, Ronnie, I'm not, every breath don't hurt. But he'd been fixing the fence, and he called me and he said, man, I'm just whipped out, I'm sore, I'm just gonna lay down. Well, he laid down with them Cheetos. I guess that's his comfort food. But I do pray for Ronnie. I love him. He's a good man. Yeah, I'm serious about that. He really is. He's a good friend. But he got his little farm, and he's like me. I get out and do something like that, and I pay for it for a day or two, you know. And we like to do our stuff ourselves. You say, well, go hire somebody. Well, I hire Ben, but Ben's only here 2 days a week. You know, Ben's taking school and stuff, you know, and he has online courses, stuff he does, stuff he has to do stuff on that. So, and he tries to get a day from Lester or Bree or Jake or somebody to kind of help out too, because Ben pays his own way, his bills and stuff. So until he gets out where he can get out and get him a regular job, and everybody tries to help him a little bit. But anyway, I try to do jobs. I don't like to wait for call for somebody to come help me on stuff. If I can do it, it just takes me longer, but I get it done, you know. And Ben is a lot of help. He truly is. And Ronnie's the same way. So he goes down this hillside and up and down this hill. He said It's too steep, I think, for a little golf cart. The gate, I'm telling you, the gate's too narrow for a golf cart to haul all of his stuff down. So he walks down with his wire, comes back up, gets his staples and hammers, walks down with all this stuff, comes back, gets his T-post and carrying them down there. And T-posts are heavy. So he made about 50 trips up and down that hillside, and at the end of the day, his ribs is just beyond painful, you know. So yeah, I feel for him. If I lived next door, I'd probably walked out there and made one trip with him and took my chair. Funny thing was, he sent me a picture of the fence. He did a good job. And there sat his chair. I understand that, Ronnie. I understand that chair. Well, Dan says, I can tell where Dad worked because there'll always be a chair somewhere close by. That's right. As long as I can sit down, I can keep going. I got to sit down some. A lot of you folks do a lot more than what we do. You take Dot. I've seen some of the stuff she's done, and I've talked to her on the phone, but about some of the things she's doing, and that's an amazing lady. And she sent me a picture the other day. I guess she was going to church somewhere. I think a Sunday picture or whatever. Very pretty lady. And I sent a picture like that to somebody one day. He said, oh, PawPaw cleans up. He cleans up pretty good. Well, yeah, sometimes. Okay, we're getting up there at the end of this thing. I just want to say, all you folks that are new, Lester found ostrich, found using ostrich eggs. I don't know about all that. All you folks that are new, we want to thank you for being here and welcome you here. She's going to granddaughter. Dot was going to the granddaughter's graduation. Well, you look good there, sweetie. Anyway, listen, all you folks, you never gonna meet better people than what you're seeing come across this screen. They're good people. They'll never steer you wrong. Well, there's a couple, old Ronnie and Will, to steer you off the track, but still, they're good folks. And so many of you guys have made friends like from here off on the Facebook, friendships and all this stuff. And I think that's so neat that you guys become friends with each other. It's just like a big family. We talked about that before. It's just sitting around. You're not gonna learn a lot from me, but it is like a big family sitting here chatting in a big room. And now and then there might be someone with an off-key comment. Just ignore it if it's offensive to you. Just ignore it. You know, if they do it over and over, we'll oust them. We'll block them or whatever. But just enjoy each other. And if you got something you want to say, I've had so many people say, I never chat. Chat. Go ahead, throw it out there. People, these folks are good. You can walk into this room of people, whether it be 1,000 or whatever it may be, or 2,000, whatever. I think they've been averaging 3,000 to 4,000, before the day's over, and sit down amongst these folks, and literally just join right in. You can just join right in. You ain't got to worry about who you are, what you are, where you're from. We got folks from other countries, and I always find that interesting, very interesting. People from New Zealand and Australia and England, Scotland, Ireland, Belgium, Canada. All these different places. Places I'll never go. Places I'm bad about, like I'm almost like Ben researching, looking at pictures and stuff of these places. Watching movies where these places have been filmed. There you go, New Zealand. Beautiful places. Beautiful place. Beautiful people. Okay, beautiful people. So Scotland, yeah, Scotland's out there. I love Scotland. I've got ancestors from Scotland and Ireland, and Maybe some from England, I think. I think there's a few of England. Then they come over here, and then we just mix in with everybody. We just got a mix over here. But anyway, no, uh, I enjoy that. I enjoy it. I never thought I'd want to do this kind of stuff. Lester told you, Dad, just try it. I think you'll like it. Uh, or might be somebody out there find you interesting. Yeah, yeah, they found me somebody to make fun of. That's all they want, Lester. Somebody to make fun of. No, but I love you guys. I do, and I have fun at it. And I don't do everything perfect. Not a perfect person. The only one. He's up yonder. So anyway, uh, I think Bigfoot must have got Vera. I don't see Vera on here this morning. I think Bigfoot done grabbed her. Bigfoot's out there. You got to watch out for him. One of these days he's gonna catch old Ronnie in that outhouse. I hope he don't abuse him. Well, maybe I hope he will. He'll become a believer. I love you guys. Y'all take care, and we'll see you back here, good Lord's willing, on Monday. And I got some emails here a while back that says, why don't you do this every morning? We have coffee with you every morning. Well, I don't know. Y'all get tired of me after about 2 days in a row. But I love you guys anyway. And y'all take care. Chat with each other. Keep the chat going with each other, okay? I love you guys. Y'all take care. And happy Memorial Day for you folks. Bye-bye.